2025 NCAA March Madness Men's Tournament is back, and this time it is bringing all the feels. The biggest event in college sports tips off March 18th, and you don't want to miss a second of the heart-pumping action. Catch all the clutch shots, big-time plays, upsets, Cinderellas, Blue Bloods, and more. Tune in to the NCAA Men's Division I Basketball Championship March 18th through April 7th on TBS, CBS, TNT, True TV, and Stream on Max.
It's time for basketball, and Uber Eats is dropping deals on game day favorites to keep you locked in on the action. Like when you're craving a buzzer beater, but also buffalo wings. Or when an upset makes you want to ugly cry into a pizza. And right now, Uber Eats has game day deals from Burger King, Buffalo Wild Wings, KFC, and hundreds more local favorites. So you can keep your eyes on the ball and your hands on a burger. Order now, only on Uber Eats. Product availability varies by region. See app for details.
I can say to my new Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, hey, find a keto-friendly restaurant nearby and text it to Beth and Steve. And it does, without me lifting a finger. So I can get in more squats anywhere I can. 1, 2, 3.
Will that be cash or credit?
Credit. 4.
Galaxy S25 Ultra, the AI companion that does the heavy lifting so you can do you. Get yours at Samsung.com. Compatible with select apps. Requires Google Gemini account. Results may vary based on input. Check responses for accuracy.
Welcome to another Find the Edge production for the Premier League Cricket Club. Connecting players and coaches, clubs and leagues, volunteers and supporters alike, you're in the right place for the best of the 33 ECB Premier Leagues and the 20 NCCA counties, bringing you the stories, the stats and the standout performances that make this game great. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to both our Premier League and NCCA shows so you don't miss any episodes. Now, shall we get stuck in? So hi everyone, welcome back to the Premier League Cricket Show, and as has been our nature this year, we're going to do something a little bit different again. And one of the things we want to do over this year and the next couple of months and years ahead is follow one or two clubs around the country who, to use that old-fashioned phrase, are on a journey. And today we are at Upton Cricket Club on the Wirral, who play in the Cheshire County League and a little bit in the Cheshire Cricket League. So joining me today as my guest is Jez Lamb, Chairman of Upton Cricket Club. How you doing, mate?
Very good, Ian. Pleasure to welcome you here.
Yeah, it's nice to be here. Nice sunny day. And it's nice to see that it looks as though things are starting to come together on the ground, slowly but surely.
Yeah, let's not speak too soon. We're in March. I'm not sure when this will go out, but it's dry.
Yeah.
And we'll take that.
Yeah.
Say no more.
Absolutely. Why Upton Cricket Club, he says. So we're here at Upton Cricket Club because, in our opinion, and there's bound to be someone who's going to argue with us and throw it back at us, Upton Cricket Club was possibly, there's my caveat, the most successful club in the whole of England and Wales last year. Jez, why?
One simple reason is we won a lot. We got 4 Saturday sides, all got promoted. 3 of them winning the league, 1 missing out by 1 or 2 points
on the last day.
On the last day, so that could have been 4 titles. What a night that would have been!
Yeah. You tell me the 3 titles wasn't enough.
3 was all right, yeah.
Decent night.
You still always want. You want a little bit more, don't you?
Yeah.
And our ladies' side finished runners-up in their respective division. We had our under-11s winning their league as well. So, yeah, plenty of success last year, and we sort of self-proclaimed most successful club in the UK.
Well, I'm pretty sure there's bound to be someone out there who will tell me that there is someone more successful. If there is, by all means, drop us a note and we'll come and talk to you. But to have all of your sides winning their leagues, 3 of the 4 Saturday sides winning their leagues to be promoted, and therefore competing at a higher level again next year, this year as we are now, that's special, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You can't undervalue the importance of winning and what that brings to a whole club, because it's not just the players who see it, it's the spectators who come down, it's the parents who watch the kids, kids playing in whatever team, the relatives, all the people. There's a general feel-good factor, and also around the community as well, because we play a massive part in the community, and people start to take an interest because they say, oh, hang on a minute, Upton Cricket Club are winning again, and more people come through to go. It's almost.
I was going to ask that. Was Saturdays busier than ever down here?
I wouldn't say busier than ever, because we're generally busy anyway. But your visit lots of clubs where there's a couple of people and a dog walking around. We're probably looking at, on a nice sunny day, we're in a good location, you're probably looking in the region of 120, 130 people watching a first team game. You probably, numbers drop off a little bit for second team games because we take quite an away following. So naturally some of those people go away, but you can have upwards of 80 odd people watching a second team game as well. And that's not very often you see those kind of numbers around around grounds.
No, not in the slightest. So take us back. You've been chairman here now since 2015, I think.
Yep.
We're 10 years on. Tell me about the state of the club then compared to now. Good, bad, indifferent. Where's it gone from?
So Upton's always been fortunate, and we're positioned here where I've got an easy reference point because I can see the board over there that's got the previous chairman, and Upton's always been in a really fortunate position that it's been run by good people, and that's not given the easy answer because if it wasn't run by good people, I'd call them out. But I've been really fortunate to inherit and has previous chairman. I've inherited in the club in a good state. Where we've been is we probably lacked on the playing field for a number of years. Infrastructure wise, we run really well. We have been run really well for a good number of years now, way before my time. And we've done things right off the field, but what we've got is now we're starting to see things on the pitch taking shape. For years there's guys there who've been around, and they were really successful. So we go back for a long period of time where a guy called Pete Clark was captain, and he was fortunate to have players in his side who were really, really capable cricketers. You'll remember from your days at Wavertree, the likes of, you've got Pete Clark, you've got Gary Dixon, you've got Nick Rivet, you've got Simon McGowan, you've got these names who were really prominent figures in Merseyside competition, cricket, in local cricket, dominating the Merseyside comp. And then naturally that evolution of time, and it's cyclical. Things drop off and you get a different crop of juniors coming through, and we haven't been as successful as we could have. We had a period and I think it was either 2017 or 2018 where we narrowly missed out on promotion to the Premier League when we were a Division 1 club, and I think that year Widnes went up. I'm trying to think, I can't think who else went up, but it was we missed out by something like 3 points of going up to Premier League cricket. How we'd have done it in the Premier League, I don't know. But that side that got us so close to reaching Premier League cricket is not too different to the side that we've got today. A lot of those players are still here and still smarting a little bit in terms of what we missed out on. But what we've done now is we've added those extra little bits that mean we're in a position now where we can keep on progressing from where we were last year, and keep on progressing. And we go into Division 2, and like any promoted side, you either go in there with full of optimism, going right, we've just won a load of games, we've got that momentum bounce, or you could go in with, oh blimey, what are we going to face here? Are we going to be cannon fodder every week? And we're definitely in that form, and we've got that momentum. We've worked really hard over the winter. Our winter programme has changed dramatically. Lee Dixon's come back to the club. Massive influence. You're talking former Cheshire captain there, a guy who scored nearly 8,000 Premier League runs, nearly 300 Premier League games, huge amount of experience. Won the Premier League title with Chester Boughton Hall, and Lee's brought a very different approach to how we tackle things here at Upton Cricket Club.
A Premier League approach.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, really brought in.
Take me back though. 2017, you're in Div 1, and you almost get promoted to the Premier League. What happened between 2017 then to drop down to 2 more divisions? Because for those who are listening, Chester's one of those leagues where all the first 11s play against each other. We know it's different in every county and every league around the country, but you've got Premier League, first, second, third division, all with first 11 clubs in there. What happened there? You must have had a couple of iffy years, shall we say, to drop down in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't take away from the fact that results didn't go our way.
Did you lose players in that time?
We lost a couple of players. We had changeover of overseas players. We had a highly prominent overseas player in Chris MacArthur who was with us in 2017, 2018. We were fortunate that Chris was able to come back in 2024.
Yeah.
His circumstances enabled him to do that. We're fortunate he's coming back again for 2025. But yeah, we lost a couple of players, and very much like momentum can carry you forward.
It went the other way.
It went the other way for us.
Was it a double relegation then for you?
You're testing me now. Those kind of things I try to erase from my memory.
Yeah.
I think it may have been.
Well, even if it wasn't a double, it was 2 relegations within a number of years.
Yeah, absolutely. And naturally, like every other club in the land, COVID hit.
Yeah.
Stops things a little bit in your tracks. People lose a little bit of interest. People move away. But that core of that, as I said previously, that core of that side is there.
Yeah.
They know what it's like to be within touching distance, and they want to correct the wrongs that happened in that intervening period.
Yeah, and traditionally, for those who don't know, Upton is always regarded in this patch, shall we call it, as one of the bigger clubs in terms of size, in terms of structure, in terms of people knowing it's Upton Cricket Club. Living in Liverpool as I did in my youth, it was definitely one of the clubs on the Wirral that we knew about, whereas there might be one or two we didn't know about quite as much. That stands you in good stead to build on what you've had in the last few years, doesn't it?
It does, but it only carries you so far because
Yeah.
you've actually got to be able to back it up. And it's all right being a nice bunch of fellas and we're a prime location because we're just off the motorway and we're dead accessible, we're dead visible. There's a bypass running past. But it only stands you in good stead because people don't come just because you're visible.
Yeah.
Where we are in terms of what we've had to work really hard in terms of like our social media presence, our website presence. That only gets you so far as well because a working example, we did a real push one winter in terms of social media and we recruited about 7 or 8 players of different standards throughout the club. So there's a clear correlation there between your online presence and what you actually what you do and how you go about your business and the visibility you have. But it only goes so far. You've got to back it up with results, and that's why being a little bit more shrewd in terms of the conversations that we have and the relationships we've got has enabled us to bring in the players like Lee Dixon, established Premier League player, probably. Lee will correct me if I'm wrong. Undoubtedly, when this goes out, he will tell me exactly where he stands in the overall Premier League standings in Cheshire. That he's up there, top 3 or 4 leading run scorers in Premier League history within Cheshire. But we've also, the exciting one for us over the winter is bringing in a player called Luke Camden. So Luke's come to us from Neston, another Premier League club, big club on the Wirral. Luke played 1, maybe 2 games last year for Neston, sort of fallen out of love with cricket a little bit, got married, life circumstances, but has always stayed close to the club. His dad, ex-first team player, Luke was a junior with us.
He's a family club, basically.
Yeah, very much so, and that helps when you can then start to back it up with your cricketing stats of going, well, we've just won a league, great, where are we going now? Well, let's go and win another one. And words only carry so much. Someone's actually got to scratch away at the surface to go, is this just a load of rubbish because they want me to play here?
Yeah.
Or is this actually the reality? And really positive conversations with Luke have led to Luke being an Upton player for 2025 and beyond. He's trained really hard this winter. You can tell as well.
He's back in love.
He's back in love, but you can tell that Premier League experience that comes with the players like Luke, with Lee Dixon. We've got other players in there. Tom Marsland, who's our keeper. I love a stat, and I was checking a few things out before I came, and Tom's got the most stumpings out of all keepers in the Cheshire County League. Tom still gets offers to this day from Premier League clubs to go and play for him. He's that good a gloveman, and he's playing for us. Comes in, can bat anywhere. He opened the batting at one stage and he bats down 7 or 8.
Handy.
Really handy, can adjust his game. Very clever player. Just needs to keep his knees in order for the next few years.
Don't we all?
Yeah. So you've got players like that, and then that's supported by our local. If I say local, they're all local lads anyway. But the lads who've been here and not moved on to other clubs, and really sort of stuck with us.
And that's where your club's come from what I see. The junior section's always been strong, but it's got stronger and stronger. On the back of that, then you're developing more players for the fourths, the thirds, the seconds, and eventually the firsts. You're not a club who's gone out there and opened the checkbook and just brought players in front and centre.
Absolutely not. And I think, touching on the numbers there, we've just done a new kit deal with Icon Sports, and as part of that, we offer all our players a free playing shirt because it's not fair to go, right, you need to go and buy a new shirt because we've decided to change the manufacturer. So we give all our senior player members a free shirt, and across both our Saturday and Sunday side. So that's our white top cricket players playing, and then our ladies side on a Sunday. We've got a playing base there where we're effectively giving away around about 90 shirts.
Wow.
So it's a healthy player
that adds
base.
up, doesn't it, when it comes to cost?
The treasurer's having palpitations and he's lying down in a dark room still from the outlay there. But it just shows what a solid base that we've got to choose from. Now, naturally, like any sport, like any club, not all of those players are available
week in, week out.
But it gives us a real good foundation to go off.
But those numbers you just said, I mean, if you've got 90 to 100 players like that, including the women on a Sunday, that adds up to me. So you need 5 teams of 11, 55. You need twice as many. Every club's the same in the country. However many teams you've got out, you need twice as many players because weddings, festivals, you name it, gets in the way throughout the summer.
Yeah, of course.
But your biggest issue for you guys clearly is that the first 11's got to be as strong as possible, and you need as many players in the second 11 battling for that first 11 place, don't you?
Oh, 100%. You can dress it up in whichever way you like and go, all the teams are of equal importance, but if your first team is not doing it, that is your flagship team within any club, with any sport. That's the flagship of any club, and that's the first result that most people are going to look for, and you've got to be doing it at the top level. But by having that solid base there, it creates that competition all the way through the sides, and it's that's the reason why we walked away with 4 promotions and 3 league titles last year.
I mean, take me back to this time last year when you guys are doing your final planning for the season, looking ahead. I'm guessing maybe putting 1 or 2 targets on the table because I know you as personally, that's the way you would operate. Did you plan to win all of those leagues, or were you just, if we could get promoted, that's a good job? Yeah,
I think if you'd have asked me this time last year what we would have been happy with, we would have taken 2. Taken 2. With two promotions, 1 league title. Let's not forget, our third team in 2023 avoided relegation on the last game of the season.
Right.
So when we set targets, it was first team promoted and win the league.
Yeah.
Number 1 target. Every club has to be looking at that.
Got to start at
You've got to start at that. Second team, we were thinking, we can push really hard at the top end of this division. Third team was mid-table is success. Fourth team, because of the fluctuation in terms of the players, they built a really good squad, the fourth team, and a very much of a unit there together. They missed out on promotion the previous year with a rain-affected game that could have been on, maybe should have been on, but was also could have easily been off. And they were going, you know what, they could have a push, but you never quite know what you're going to get at fourth team. You get some players playing in the opposition who are just far stronger than fourth 11, and you just don't know what you're going to face because the fluctuations as you go down the sides. So from that, we would have taken 2 promotions, 1 league title. And as the season's going on, you start going, hang on a minute,
we were exchanging messages in July, August, all of a sudden it's like, this is interesting.
Yeah, and you're looking at it and all the sides are top of the table and you're thinking, something's going to burst here. The bubble's got to burst.
But the momentum just continued all the way through.
Absolutely. And what winning does, all of a sudden, when someone thinks, you know what, I could go to that concert, or I could go shopping or something like that, and then they realise that they might not get the place back next week, that all of a sudden those things that had been there in the past, they go away, and availability starts to get stronger.
That's interesting.
It really is. It isn't just the winning for the 11, it's the ones who are there going, hang on a minute, I want to be in that side, and I can't afford to not be available. And don't get me wrong, like any club, we've got availability challenges,
of course,
but they start to diminish as you're winning.
Yeah, and I'm guessing we're sat here in the pavilion in the bar. I'm guessing on a Saturday night through the season, the noise in here gradually got louder every Saturday night, because A, you were winning, and B, getting closer to, actually not far off, the perfect season.
Yeah, absolutely. And Saturday nights generally tended to start around about 2:00 in the afternoon, because we've got a very big support base, as we said earlier, and the bar's open earlier. And when you're winning, sometimes, because we moved into this format of win-lose cricket last year, sometimes your games are over a little bit earlier, so your Saturday nights start.
And do you think that suited you guys better?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the purists, and I'm one of them. I like win-lose draw. I like a.
Did you vote against it as a club?
No, we didn't. No, because we knew it suited us.
Yeah.
We absolutely knew the style of play that we wanted to play was suiting win-lose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, win-lose cricket. You've got a player like Matt Owen, who's our first team captain, who is a cricket purist. Opening bat, will bat all day. Really good, solid opening bat. Perfect for being that dogged batsman there, just not giving away his wicket. The draw absolutely suits him. But you know what? He adapted his game, he worked around it, and it's been good for us. It really has. And as I say, bring back a draw. I like it. I like a real hard-fought draw.
I'm going to ask you though, do you think the win-lose was one of the reasons that Chris Mack was happy to come back as well? Because with that Southern Hemisphere mentality, they like win-lose down there.
Well, Chris MacArthur's an interesting one. He actually doesn't do very well in Australia.
Okay.
He does really well in the UK. He scored 3,500 runs in 3 seasons for us in competitive games. And you look at his numbers in Australia, he doesn't do that well. So I don't know. You could put any format out there for Chris. He's a unique player.
Yeah.
And he'll just... if you said you've got to play one-handed cricket, he'll happily score runs just doing that. He's the kind of player who will... He just adapts his game to the circumstance.
Yeah.
I remember talking to him in his first or second season, and he was facing a bit of a green top wicket, and he was like, well, what do you think of this? And he went, I don't even look at that, I just face the ball, and
the ball that comes down is the ball that comes down.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm not bothered by that. I'll just do what do what I want. 3,500 runs later, and he's back for a 4th season.
He's clearly doing it, definitely.
Absolutely.
Hey, Fidelity. How can I remember to invest every month?
With the Fidelity app, you can choose a schedule and set up recurring investments in stocks and ETFs.
Oh, that sounds easier than I thought.
You got this.
Yeah, I do. Now, where did I put my keys?
You will find them where you left them.
Investing involves risk, including risk of loss. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Lowe's knows what makes SpringFest savings even better are member-only doorbuster deals. Right now, rewards members can save $40 on an Allen & Roth Chesler Gold faucet. Was $99, now $59. Plus, save $110 on a Cobalt 40-volt battery trimmer and blower combo kit. Was $279, now $169. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 3/24 while supplies last. Program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
We'll touch on this season going ahead and the plans for the club going ahead, but you can't go amiss to talk about the women and girls side as well, though, who they came second in the league.
Yep.
But more importantly, it's the development through that side, isn't it? And for those who are listening, we're recording this on the 13th of March when Lancashire's women's side are led by Ellie Threlkeld, who's going to be co-hosting our women and girls episodes in a few weeks' time. They've just gone off to India, and they've got an Upton girl with them.
Absolutely.
Sophie Morris, through the ranks here, has gone out with Lancashire. How important is that to A, the club, and B, the development of women and girls for you guys?
Oh, it's absolutely massive. It's it just shows when you start down here as a 6 or a 7 year old.
Is that what Sophie did?
I'm not sure what age Sophie started with us, but but any 6 or 7 year old who comes down here, first taste of cricket, boy or girl, you aspire. Some will just be here and they'll be doing handstands on the outfield, and that's boys and girls just messing around, making daisy chains. You're always going to get those, but there will be those there who've got that aspiration of, you know what, I could make it in the game here, and to have a role model like Sophie, because she conducts herself really well. There's no airs and graces. She's just the same person she's always been. Gets stuck into everything that goes on within the club, and she acts as that role model there. Just literally sat behind where you're sitting. There'll be a signed shirt on the wall very soon. It's just in the back, needs to go up, and that's a focal point for any junior coming through Upton Cricket Club to go, that's where I could reach.
And it's relevant because it's now. Absolutely.
This isn't something from the 70s, the 60s. There's, like every club, there's always people there going, in my day, and things like that. Young people cannot relate to that. So actually, someone who's now playing first-class cricket and has started as a junior, and when she's not playing first-class cricket, she comes back here and plays. That's a real bonus.
And has she dragged along, for the want of a better way of putting it, more women and girls to the club, full stop?
I would say so, because there is. I'm a father of 3 girls. My youngest daughter Jess, she plays in the ladies' side, in the same side as Sophie, and for a 14-year-old girl to go, I'm playing in the same side as a professional cricketer. It's a big thing, that, and I see it as a parent, and other parents will see it, and it's a huge, I'm going to say, selling point. I don't like to use that phrase, but it's a huge selling point for us as Upton Cricket Club to go, you know what, we invest in our juniors, and I generally try and have no segregation between male and female cricket, because to me, it's all cricket. So actually, you come along as a junior, our aspiration is for you to ultimately leave us and go on and play professional cricket. If you want to, we will provide you that platform.
And Sophie played Saturday cricket, didn't she?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Sophie's first wicket. Well, she got brought in, ironically, in a game against Alvanley where Sophie Eccleston played. She came in to the first team. Tom Marsden, who was first team captain at the time, brought her in. Penultimate ball of the game, she takes the 10th wicket to win. The scenes were just... There's clips of it somewhere. And the scenes of her taking that wicket as... I think she may have been 17 or something. And it was phenomenal. But she's whenever she can, she will be playing... she'll be playing Saturday cricket. She turns up at Winter Nets. If she's allowed to bowl X number of balls, given the professional schedule she's in, she does. She does little bits of, sort of, I'm not going to say coaching, but she'll pull people to one side and go, have you thought mentoring, but to have her around the club, just as a normal person, but there's obviously that bit of, well, hang on a minute, she's a professional cricketer.
She's going to be playing at Old Trafford, she's going to be playing at Trent Bridge, she's going to be playing for wherever Lancashire are, she could be playing there this year, and obviously, there's talk with 1 or 2 of these girls in the future playing in the 100, and then even further. The opportunities then to be that role model is just unbelievable, isn't it?
Oh, it really is. We've had it on situations where Lancashire have been playing, and we'll stick the game on the TV, the stream on the TV, and the interest there because they see one of our own playing on the TV it's phenomenal.
It's a football song, isn't it? One of our own, but actually, it doesn't matter what sport it is. It's massive.
It's huge.
I've got friends who've got players who are playing England under 20s rugby league at the moment. Sorry, rugby union at the moment, and just the thought of their brother who's playing there, it's phenomenal, and the club all gets behind it, doesn't it?
Absolutely, No, it's huge, and we've seen that progression of women and girls cricket in the fact that we've got so many young girls playing cricket. With just this year, we're entering into one of the softball leagues as well, so we can play some structured softball cricket. I think there's about 12 or 14 fixtures have just been released in terms of what that's going to give, and they're the guys who we want to give them the opportunity to play hardball cricket, but in a fun, friendly, relaxed environment to see if they really enjoy it. And you know, that's something we've realised we've got to expand beyond the single ladies team, because by doing that, that's the future of
100%.
Ladies and girls cricket.
It's actually starting to build the infrastructure behind your hardball team.
Absolutely, yeah. We've got that natural structure on, I don't want to say the men's side, because our sides on a Saturday are mixed. We have other females as well as Sophie playing in our Saturday sides. But they've got that structure of juniors coming through. We've got a Sunday friendly side where they can get the first taste of senior cricket. Then they'll dabble in the fourth team and then progress their way through. That structure didn't necessarily exist for ladies cricket. So it's right, we need to do something here. So softball is the natural way to go with that one.
Looking forward, you're now in Div 2 of the Cheshire County League, first 11. For those who listen to the pod regularly know that I have a big issue with the way formats are, and I find all first 11s playing against each other quite strange, but it's how they are. You're 2 promotions away from Premier League, and we're talking about that journey to becoming a Premier League club. What do you think needs to change, or what needs to be put in place? Just say you got those 2 promotions over the next 3 years or 4 years. What needs to change at Upton Cricket Club to not only get those promotions, but more importantly, stay in that ECB Premier League?
Yeah, it's a very good question, Ian. Quite a challenging question as well, because it's
that's why we're on the journey.
Yeah, thanks very much for that. It is a crystal ball question, but it's very much continue what we're doing on the pitch.
Yeah,
have the right mentality to take us forward. Ironically, there's already conversations going on with players to join for next season. Those conversations are
2026.
Oh yeah. That's where you've got to be thinking several steps ahead. But actually, as well, when you look at it, there's bits we can do off the pitch. As important things are on the pitch, because you've absolutely got to get that right. You can't not do stuff off the pitch, and we're working really hard at the moment in terms of some of the development we're looking at doing in terms of clubhouse development, improving our facilities on our back pitch. We've just done a significant investment in our nets. We've got more work to happen in the coming weeks in our next nets to improve our training facilities, improving generally all round our training facilities of the equipment we've got, so people can take the pitch and they'll be in the best possible condition. And it's the combined effect of not going, right, we've got to do it all now. It's actually just slow, steady.
Ramp it up.
Bringing in the players that we've talked about in terms of your Lee Dixons, your Luke Camdens, with Premier League experience. And the guys can then look at them and go, that's what it takes to be a Premier League player.
So ideally, you have a couple of ex-Premier League players come down to Div 2 for this year. You get promoted in 25 or 26. Let's not put too much of a target on everyone's heads. But then you're in Div 1. That should draw 1 or 2 more.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the idea, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's clearly, in some camps there may be seen as a stigma in playing in Div 2. We found it in Div 3. Certain players would not come and join us. It was a step too far. Div 2 becomes a little bit more attractive. Div 1 becomes even more attractive. And then there's some well-established clubs in that Division 1 structure.
And in the County League, how big a difference do you see? And I know it's a little bit objective, but how big a difference do you see between Div 3 to Div 2 to Div 1 to Prem? Yeah, if I ask you this question in a different way, in Div 3, you tend to maybe have 1 player, 2 players maybe that I'm not going to say carry, but they wouldn't make it to the Premier League.
Yeah,
that's the difference. The 11 in the Div 3 aren't necessarily going to be the 11 in the Premier League. It's a bit like football, Premier League down to League 2.
Absolutely.
How many players difference do you see between them?
I think the difference between Div 3 and Div 2 is because we came down from Div 2 not so long ago. So we had that relegation. When we look at Div 3, Div 3's stronger than we thought it was going to be.
Okay.
We were in the equivalent when it was split into the Cheshire Cricket League about 2013. We were in the same league. Literally every team that we faced had 4 players. And the rest, once you got through those 4 players, you knew you'd won the game. Div 3 now is strong, or certainly stronger than it was. The difference between Div 3 and Div 2 is not much. Div 2 to Div 1, there's a bigger step, and then you go to the Prem.
And it's about depth of players.
It is about depth of players, because you're ultimately, if you're going to get 18, 19, 20 maybe weeks out of a player, that's a good return.
Very.
So you look at that and you're going, okay, what's in our twos? Can these players step up? But can they also be happy playing twos every week? When you've got a winning twos and playing a higher level, that helps, which we're going to have this year. But it is about depth of squad. And without going sort of Chelsea in the mid 2000s, you've got that Claudio Ranieri problem of trying to keep everybody happy, and that's where you have to get all the other bits right around the edges to make sure that everybody is happy and almost hungry to go into the first team when called upon.
It is fascinating because there's not a club in the country, as far as I'm aware, who can say they didn't have availability issues. There's always availability issues with cricket. And that Ranieri analogy is a really interesting one, because actually, even though there's availability issues, we all do still have to try to keep personnel on side. I won't say happy, on side, because you don't want that guy who's had 10 weeks in the second team, miffed at having to drop to the thirds, or stretched at having to go to the first. So it is a real balance about having those squads, but they've got to interlink, haven't they?
Yeah, and one of the greatest way of interlinking those squads is you bring your whole club together, so you're almost creating. I've used it numerous times in stuff I've spoke about over the years within the club, of that one club mentality of right, in the bar, no one is any more important than the guy who scored a 50 in the fourth team to a guy who scored 100 in the first team. That kind of thing. It doesn't change, but you've got to keep people. You've got to keep people ready and almost wanting to play for that first team and step up and and help. But you've got to bring everybody together, and you've got to make everybody feel as though they're part of the same club, the same vision. Having your teams lower down, so your second teams and third teams playing at the highest possible level they can do, naturally helps. In an ideal world, you'd have our second team are now playing Division 1 cricket, so that helps because they're playing a higher level. You want them playing really Premier League cricket, because that's close to the level below where we are as you possibly can do. So you want your clubs further down really playing the highest possible level, so that gap is not so big in terms of stepping up.
But looking outside in, Upton, long historical club, 125 years old next year, I think.
125 years.
Anniversary year next year. What does it mean to a club like Upton to get back to the Premier League? Because we try not to make it too big a thing, but it bloody well is as far as we're concerned. 6,500, 7,000 clubs around the country, give or take, depends on which database you read. But there's only 360, 370 Premier League clubs in the country, and it is the pinnacle.
Yeah, absolutely. And for a club like Upton, who are, we are a big club. We're there. Our membership somewhere between 600 and 700. It's not small. We've got big ambitions as well. It doesn't just stop where we are because we've won a league title. It carries on, and we want to keep on progressing. It's the thing that keeps me going. I'm into year 11 now, and I think I had hair when I started this. I can't quite remember, but it's every year you have moments where you go, right, that's it, I'm never doing this again, I'm packing in, I don't need this hassle. And then there's bits where you're going, this is really good, this is exciting, and you can see that journey, and it's like, well, hang on a minute, if we just keep on doing this, if we make a couple of subtle tweaks, and it's keeping on topping up those batteries that you go, this could mean a lot to a lot of people. I see the delight. Often when we're winning, you watch the reaction of the people around, and you see what Upton Cricket Club means to them.
Absolutely.
And it's not the 11 players necessarily on the pitch, because it means something to them winning. But you see the blokes, the wives, the rest of the family, they go away from here happy.
Yeah, we've been very lucky on the Premier League Cricket Show to be privileged to seeing Brentwood win the club championship last year, Northern win the T20 national final, and just as you say, the players love it. But to see what the fans go through, the guys who are there week in, week out, or Brentwood won down at Worcester, I'm going to say there was 150, 200 Brentwood fans, probably a lot of players who play for them in the second, third, fourth team as well. But it means so much to them as a club to win. And it's, you can't beat that feeling for any club.
Oh no, the scenes, I remember seeing that. The scenes in the stand of the Brentwood fans going absolutely bonkers. It's phenomenal, and you see what it means. We've got some of our support base. It doesn't sound very far to people who aren't a bit further away, but there's guys here who will get the bus from Liverpool, come over, watch a game, and you're talking, okay, as the crow flies, a matter of miles, but actually
it's an hour's journey on the bus.
Yeah, and we've got guys who come week in, week out, who'll get the bus over from Liverpool, come over here, stagger down to the bus stop after a few hours of drinking and enjoying the cricket, and go away full of happiness because they've seen an Upton win.
Yeah.
And that's the true spirit of what any club cricket means. Is
absolutely,
if you can spread that happiness through everybody, whether that's players, whether that's volunteers, whether that's just your spectators who come down.
Yeah.
Everybody has got a part to play in club cricket, and it's all those individual components that make a club what it is.
Absolutely. Looking forward to this year then, and looking forward to the future and the journey we want to follow with you guys to hopefully to the Premier League. I'm going to put you absolutely fair and square in the crosshairs. How many promotions this year would you like to think you can get? So I'm being kind the way I put that.
Ooh, 2. That's me being honest.
Yeah.
I'll take 4 again.
Absolutely. All clubs would do that.
Yeah.
And if I was to say to you, in your mind, back of your mind, when are you back in that Premier League? It can't be anything less than 2 years, clearly. But if you were to say 3, 4, 5, what would make Jez Lamb happy as Upton chairman?
It all depends on how long I can do this job for, because there's got to be that thing that keeps me going and going. And the reality is, 25 promoted, 26 that season's in Division 1, 26, 27 maybe a consolidation couple of years, 28.
And keep going so that they're back in the Premier League, playing against the Didsburys of this world, the Alderley Edges, and some big bloody clubs in the Cheshire County League, aren't there?
Yeah, and for a club like Upton, who we have our model that is different to other models, it's about going in there and a little bit of disruption and going, you know what, we can do this. We obviously know that playing Premier League cricket adds extra demands, but no reason why we can't do it. Yeah, we've got things there. We've got the infrastructure in place. We can do it. We know we need to make changes, but actually, what we're doing now is we're surrounding ourselves with people who know how to be successful.
Yeah,
it's almost a bit like the Clive Woodward 2003 model of just bring the people in the right places who know how to be successful, and the successful follow.
Great way to end. Great chatting, Jez. For those who are listening, follow Upton Cricket Club on the socials. They're great on the socials, and follow what they're doing through the season. We want to be able to follow them through the season as our non-Premier League club and just see what journey they go on and see what the likes of Sophie Morris does, but also what Chris Mack does when he comes back, what Matty Owen does. These are guys who have got long-standing appeal in the league and can only see themselves going further forward anyway, and that's why you bring in the Lee Camdens back and people like that, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Great to see you, Jez.
Brilliant. Cheers, Ian. Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us at the Premier League Cricket Club. We'll be back soon with more from the world of Premier League and NCCA cricket. But in the meantime, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review and follow us wherever you get your socials. Or maybe check out our website, premierleaguecricket.co.uk, to stay updated. Until next time, have a good one.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.